Morning guys, it's Eric. Welcome to the video. If you get value out of this, you think somebody else will get value out of it, I'd love it if you'd share it. It helps me out a lot. Don't forget to like the video if you like it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs down if you don't. And what else can you do? If you have a question or you want to leave a comment, that'd be great. So, this is like a boring topic to talk about, but I've tried to talk about it before, but the last yesterday, I actually was supposed to go hang out with someone that I would call an advisor for my trucking business and just financially. And I had, I quote unquote had the time, but when I wasn't driving, but I had, I just have to start doing things differently. I actually have no trucks available to drive, which is fine. But every time I have a truck available to drive, I want to drive, and it's like I'm getting to the point where trucking is becoming more than just trucking. It's like just like paperwork that needs to be done more than J and R. Yeah, it's good. It's good. No truck sitting, so that's good. We're building a truck right now that I'll drive again, but or will it'll just be the backup truck. It'd be good to have one backup truck, but anyways, so it's getting to the point where I guess there's stages of trucking. So like, I mean, there's no written rule about this, but when you first get started, kind of anything goes, and you don't really have anything to lose, and then you kind of like as you start acquiring stuff, you have more and more stuff to lose, and you can't just be like the wild west anymore and do whatever you want. You have to start covering your butt type of you know scenario, and then so you start doing that, and then you get to the point where you're trying to do everything right, but you probably aren't, and then you get to the next point where it's like you better make sure that you're doing everything right because you need to be doing everything right. so, so that's the stage that I'm at. We've been there for a while, but my wife does. She's like, my business partner, but she's actually. I'll shut this. It's pretty noisy out here. She's actually, you know, like she really is a business partner. It's not like she just does the paperwork. She does. I mean, not that just doing the paperwork, but she basically keeps the business running. Morning, Aaron. Good to see you. Good problem. Yep. So she keeps the business running, and without her, I couldn't be where I'm at because it just wouldn't work out because I pretty much can drive and I have different skill sets and it's not that, and it'd have to be run differently for sure. So anyways, she's been on me about getting on everybody else about getting paperwork. So I'm sitting here waiting for a driver because he refuses to like sign paperwork, so I gotta watch him sign the paperwork, and it's not anything to do with bad performance or anything like that. It's just the formalities of what our insurance requires and blah blah blah. It's not stuff that I even like to have people do because it's just like I hired them to drive, not fill out paperwork. But it is just what it is. So before, when I had a day off, it was like I wanted to do something or whatever it is, but not. Well, right now I just don't. I call not driving, a day off, which I don't have. Okay, the driver's pulling in here. I'll be right back, guys. I'll let you see. I'll try to let you see here. I'll be right back. drop down. See if anyone said anything. If you guys have any questions or want to do any shout outs or whatever. Aaron, how much do you think the true cost would be to start trucking under my own authority, hauling materials? You probably have insurance costs. They're gonna make you either do it all at once, which would be like $10,000 to $12,000 up front. More than likely, they'll let you break it up over 12. They'll let you do 2 payments. So let's just say 12,000. So 6,000 when you start trucking, and then another 6,000 halfway through the year, and then you should be able to find that deal. So I would just say worst case scenario, $6,000 to start with insurance, and then your plate is going to be, I mean, worst case scenario, it's not going to be more than $2,500, but you should be able to get it for about $1,000. I just don't. It depends if you're prorated or local. If you get a Y plate, that depends a little bit, and then it just depends on how expensive your truck is that you get, because you pay the taxes on it the first year. So, but the thing is like I said in that one video, you can literally do all that stuff. You don't have to have the money to do it. You just have to be willing to work yourself out of that debt, and know that it's toxic and you need to get out of it as fast as possible. But it would be good to have some money. It'd be good to have, and then obviously you haven't even got your truck yet. If possible, if you were planning on paying for your truck cash and financing this other stuff, I would just go to the bank, get a loan on your truck, and then pay for this other stuff cash is what I would recommend, because your loan payment through the bank is going to be cheaper than the credit card interest and stuff. So but anyways, so basically, that was a great question, Aaron. If you have any more, let me know. So that was basically what I want to talk to you guys about. And then on top of wanting to talk to you guys about that, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is when you're starting out trucking. The only reason that I really started out trucking was because my father-in-law, Wankster, gave me the confidence to do it, because he's a mechanic. So I felt more secure that if something were to happen, he could help out, which is what I needed to do it, and we were partners or whatever. But it's such a shame that I wouldn't have started if he wouldn't have been in my life, you know what I mean? Because I feel like, I'm in a very good position, and I could have done it without him. So I feel like other people could be in the same position. So I'm just being honest with you. I'm just telling you. And that's another reason why I do the videos, to try to encourage people to do so. Yep, that would be good. Aaron, that would be good. So one of the things that I want you to keep in mind when considering if you're going to be starting a trucking business or an owner-operator or whatever is, just don't make it too complicated. Don't have to figure everything out before you get going. The one thing that would be good to know is where you're going to work and how much they're going to pay you, so that way you can kind of plan as much as you can. But I would say that starting a trucking business, or most any business, is going to be like, having kids, getting married, stuff like that, where it's like you don't know what you don't know until you get started. But everything usually works out well. When having kids, everything works out. When getting married, I guess there's a high divorce rate. But what does it matter? You live to tell the story, so then you just move on, right? I don't know. Sounds kind of bad, but all I'm saying is you'll figure it out as you go. And if you have you got to understand that you won't know everything, but you need to know. What's easier to do is to know people that know what you need to know, and then when you need help, you ask them. Don't Google things. I mean, Google is fine, but you need to be able to ask. So, like, what I do is when I don't know something or if I'm interested in something, I think about who do I know in my contacts, in my database, or who do I know that knows somebody that I can get right to the source and actually ask them, what do I need to do about this situation? And that's way better than going on Google and doing because what Google is. I mean, Google is great because sometimes I feel like, yes, Chris, exactly. I mean, Google is great because sometimes if I'm here telling you guys, ask me questions you have. I mean, I don't really want you to ask me a question that you could Google, like, what kind of truck should I get? Well, that's a personal preference thing, and you're kind of wasting my time. I don't want to sound arrogant, but it's kind of like, ask me something that you can't easily find on Google, which you can't really find that on Google because it's a personal preference. So it doesn't really matter. But that's the reason why they say your net worth is, what do they say? Your net worth is something about your network is reflected upon your network. Well, like that one video that I told you that where I was talking about what the banker, the guy that owns the bank told me. So if I have a banking question, I'm saving that one up for if I really have a question that I need, I could talk to the owner of the bank, I could, if I have a question about a truck, like I did yesterday, we had 2 trucks that needed to be towed. The guys that work for me, not specifically my trucks, but still under my dispatch. So if I have a question about a truck, can you call a mechanic? You have advisors. Yesterday I called my mechanic advisor, my tax advisor, or not my tax advisor, my insurance advisor. Like I'm just putting advisor in front of it, but my insurance agent, who I view as my advisor. I got about to sneeze here. Excuse me. I'm not gonna Google something that could be a huge problem for me. I'm gonna ask somebody that knows for sure. My tax advisor. If I have a problem with the truck, I'm gonna talk to my mechanic. I have like a council of people, of advisors, and they all have their specialties. Some of them are specialized in Detroit engines. Some of them are specialized in just like welding, like what kind of welds will work. Some of them are more specialized in wiring, and they'll all do whatever needs to be done. But some of them just don't even have any time to help me out labor-wise, but they will help me just with their experience and their knowledge and bouncing ideas off of. The truck's making this noise. Well, try this. Like one of the trucks it was making some kind of a noise, and then the OG said, well, throw your power divider in and see if the noise goes away. The noise went away when we put the power divider in. Okay, that means that your front diff is probably going bad. Okay, so then it was like, okay, that was the problem. But you got to be able to know people to figure out how to do stuff like that, I agree. I have the 1-year anniversary of my trucking business in October, and I have learned a lot. The learning curve has been steep. Yes, for me as well. It's just been it's been crazy, but it's been worth it. And it's like you're still here to talk about it, and then you can laugh about it. And And because of the experiences that you've had, it's just super, like, it gets easier year after year, and you don't have to prove yourself. Like, I feel like there's a point when you're a new client to a business, like, so you're a trucking company. By the way, guys, give me a like if you would, please. That'd be great. But if you're a new trucking company and you're trying to work for anybody, a different carrier or someone else, sometimes you're gonna have bad breaks where things are gonna happen and it's gonna not be a good reflection of your company and who you are. And if you're, a first impression could be everything. Well, once you're established and you've been working for a company for 5 years, they know that, but they might not give you the chance if something happens and then you're, what is the word? SOL? SOL, yeah. Yeah, you're SOL. So you just gotta really try your best to be professional and blah, blah, blah. So. Alright, guys, give me a thumbs up, please. No one has, and it's hurting my feelings. I am pretty much done. If anyone has any questions or wants a bologna sandwich about anything, we can. Thank you for the thumbs up. Something's going on with my neck. Because I go from 5 people to 0 people in the chat, so I don't know. I don't even know if anyone's in here right now. And it's busy out here. Ooh. Super truckers pulling in here. Show you this truck. It's pretty nice. And dumper guy. I've never seen this guy before. Good, Aaron. What's the deal? What's your story, Aaron? I know I probably asked, but I apologize. But tell me about it. You're gonna get your truck, and then are you gonna be an owner operator for the company that you drive for now, or what's your plan? What's your in? Morning, Island Trucker. Are you in Florida today? How's it? You guys getting hurricanes out there? That must be. All you guys are out on the coast. Where are the hurricanes at? I hear Texas is getting hit. Just starting to rain. I love trucking in the rain. I don't know why. Well, I guess there's nothing else to do. Drink some coffee, grab some gears. If you're an automatic, push some buttons. Awesome. I'm waiting for you, Aaron. Kind of curious to know if you're just gonna work. Okay. There you go. That's a good attitude to have. You probably haven't told them, which is, hey, I want to get my own truck and I want to be an owner operator. I'd be like, perfect. That's great. You already know the business. You already know the clients. Get your truck and get working. Do the same thing you've always been doing. Now, if you're gonna go direct, which you should, or that should be your goal, then that should be, that's what you should do. But I'm just saying, if somebody ever told me they were going to be an owner operator, I'd be like, that's fine, that's great. Hook onto one of my trailers and I'll, it's the best for you would be to not hook onto somebody's trailer and work direct. I'm just telling you from what my strategy would be as a owner, and it just depends where you're where you're starting out at. Yep, good. Good deal. Good deal, Aaron. You gonna buy a trailer right from Go as well? What kind of trailers do you guys pull out there? I'm gonna guess like 34-foot tandems. I think. Got distracted. Was checking out a dump as it came by. Whoa. Kind of nice. Give me a thumbs up, guys. 34-footer. I was thinking about just starting with renting. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Just get started. That's what's the important part. That is what is important, is just getting started. How much does it cost to rent an end dump out there? Are there people that do it? Are in that service, or do you have to have a relationship built with somebody to let you be able to do that? That's kind of weird. Oh my gosh. Allergies, guys. Allergies. Man. How much are they? A month or a week or whatever. I'm guessing they're like $2,000 to $3,000 a month, depending on how new they are. Anybody else have any other questions? So I feel like I'm sitting here doing nothing, but I'm like, it's important what I'm doing, I guess. I mean, it really is, but I feel like if I was in a truck producing income, it'd be better than me sitting here. It's just hard to wrap your mind around, like, not being a production, not getting paid off of labor. Aaron, get on it. Get on it, Aaron. I have run regional, but not right now. We used to run tire shreds from Escanaba, Michigan from the Twin Cities to Escanaba, Michigan, which is, I have a bunch of drivers that live in Wisconsin, but I had one guy that did it where he parked, loaded. So so let me tell you this. This is actually a pretty cool story. So we ran the tire shreds from Escanaba, Michigan. So then, like, what we were able to do was, because we're pretty much a local company, I don't require anybody that doesn't want to stay out in their truck. And right now, nobody is in their trucks, right? Or, overnight. We're a home every night company. So anyway, one of the guys that works for me, he lives kind of, so he can legally drive 12 hours to Michigan, and he can legally drive 12 hours into the cities, obviously. He lives closer to me than to the cities than he does Michigan. But so one day was like a short day. So he'd drive, pick up his load, park loaded. Then the next day would be like a long day where he would leave loaded, drop off in Michigan, and come back and park empty. So it was supposed to be a regional run. The same client, they didn't have any, they ran out of material, but they still needed to keep the paper mill full or stocked or whatever with tires. So we went to Illinois, real close to Chicago, and we grabbed tire shreds from Chicago and brought them to Illinois. And we did that, and we made really good money doing that. But a lot of times, in trucking, you just keep it moving when it comes to what you do. And you might do one thing one day, and you might be real consistent for like months, and then all of a sudden it just drops off. People are flaky and whatever else, and that's what ended up happening with that. Yep. I'm sitting here waiting to get some paperwork signed and filled out. They're getting loaded, so it's just one guy that I need it from, but there's a couple of trucks there on mine. But anyways, so then what ended up happening was, first off, the load paid, like, it wasn't like the greatest paying load, like I'm not the one that's gonna bologna sandwich you guys and say I'm just killing it all the time with the rate. I'm more of the guy that's gonna tell you that you make money in trucking off of, what's the word called? It's not a bulk, it's more of a, what the heck am I trying to say? You make a little bit of profit off of a lot going on. That's kind of, I feel like the only way that you can really, if you want to play the game of profit, a bit like being very profitable and not having a lot of trucks on the road, you want to have that lifestyle, is probably to have a couple of heavy haul trucks, and it can do the same thing for you. But otherwise, it's more of a numbers game. But it's not like you have to have huge numbers. I mean, I don't have huge numbers, and I feel like I'm doing way better than a lot of America. A lot of people. So there's that. But anyways, with this haul, the tires, one thing that happened was it paid us like $900. The truck did $900. So basically, the full trip was an $1,800 trip, and we did it in 900 there, 900 back, with no backhaul. That was straight. But then we ended up we hauled aluminum steel shreds, or not aluminum steel shreds. I believe they must have been aluminum shreds, and we picked those up in Michigan and brought those back to the cities. It was on a backhaul rate, but it made our round trip per mile was over $3 a mile, which is really good for me, and it's really good for end dumping, because one of the things about end dumping is that you're not getting a huge per mile. You're just able to do a lot of miles in a day because you're not waiting to get loaded and unloaded. So the mile is, it's a win for the customer, and then it makes sense for us. So when I did that, Aaron, we were doing, I had it was actually a $12,000, it was actually an $11,000, it was an $11,000 2001 Mack spread axle, which I sold. It was a junky trailer. It was a spread axle. And we needed the spread axle because I had the spread axle. I had it. But that was a job that we actually needed it for, because when you gross the weight, to gross 80,000, you had to fill the trailer all the way up with tire shreds. And then when you filled the trailer all the way up with tire shreds, if it was a tight tandem, it wouldn't axle out. It'd be too heavy on the rear. So that allowed us to legally bridge it and get up to weight. So that's what we did. And then anyways, then that ended up working out really well. But then what ended up happening was, so this is a direct client that we were doing this for, by the way. A lot of times you do a lot of brokered freight with we actually had direct client up that way, and back, so it worked good. But anyways, yeah, so it fizzled out because the client gave me my boss at that business gave me the option to basically, it was like 40% less. If you want to keep this, you have to do it for 40% less. So I was like, he texted me this because he's kind of, that's how he did things, was text message. So then I called him, and he's like, he never answered me. And that was it. It was so cheap that I couldn't do it anymore. And the reason it was cheap was because, I believe the reason that it was cheap was because, actually, I'm really interested in this. If you guys know anything about this, or where I can get any information on this. This is one of those things that I'm not able to call somebody and ask about it. I don't have a connection, and I don't know anybody that does it. But some guys put tie downs. They either buy them this way, or they reinforce their end dumps so that they can haul coils. So they haul coils, and they put a swing door on the back, and then when they go to the place, if you guys don't know what coils are, it's just a piece of rolled up steel that's really heavy and dense. But they were hauling coils from like Illinois, Chicago area to the Twin Cities, and then they were hauling those tire shreds back in an end dump, which is awesome. I mean, it would pay great because you're getting a full rate both directions, and they put that together. And that is something that I would love to do, just put something together like that. I mean, a truck would just make crazy amounts of money if you could put those together. But yeah, so that's it. That's why I don't do it anymore. So the crazy thing about the tire hauling was I knew that they did end dumping, but we were just, Frac Santa had just shut off, and it's loud. Frac Santa had just shut off, and basically I was calling around. Trying to get work for dry van. Well, I was trying to do dry vans because they do dry van work. So anything that didn't need a wet kit, I was trying to do that. And then I also knew in the back of my mind that if I got in with them, I might be able to do end dump work for them. So then what ended up happening was I got into them, did like their crap work they do, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, we got this end dump work. We're looking for reliable. So they were like, yeah, it's year-round work. It's this, it's that. It's reliable. It's the people that do it now, they're not giving us the loads they need. Well, that's because they're doing it on the back haul. So then they wanted a direct haul, so then that was us, and then they ended up going back to the back haul thing. But anyways, hold on. I gotta go help this guy, and you guys can watch. Alright, see if I can get... Just go drive out there. The heck, I guess I gotta... What the... There we go. You guys aren't going to be able to see. He signed it when he was at, I believe he signed it already. Hold on. Everybody's signing it. All like crap that I have. David's got the one. There you go. That's all you needed. I think that Chris already. Or I gotta put it here too. Fill this out. You got anything in there? I got a seatbelt, but I don't know when it was or nothing about it. Put it in there. Here you go. No clue when it was. Right at 8. Like just right at October. Alright. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry I was late. There's a 35-minute backup on 94, so I had to take 10.
Not worried about it.
Not like you have anything else to do. Sit around on your phone all day.
Yep.
In your molester van.
Yep.
She says, who owns your company? I say, that colored guy that comes in here sometimes that hits everything. Oh, him, yeah.
Thanks for letting everybody know.
That's good. They need to know who you are.
No, they don't. I like to be under the radar.
Now they can talk to you up there.
This guy's got his latches open. All right. See ya. Get to work. I got the connection to All Tires by calling. I just called them up and said, I want to haul tires, and then they said okay, and that was it. Alright guys, I'm gonna get out of here. We good? We good, guys? Yep. I actually have some big stuff going on with the landscape supply. But that's for another video, another time. Actually, is there anyone behind me? I'm gonna go back and see what's going on. I got one of my clients that is selling his business to somebody else, and I have a feeling I know who it is. I'm gonna go back in here. Got a couple clients in this little industrial part of town here. So I was gonna be on the roads, but now I'm kind of on a private road here, so I'll check her out. See if I can figure this out. I think I figured it out, but I'm gonna figure it out here. That's interesting. What the heck, man? They got some weird projects going on here. Check out this area. It's really industrial. Hawkins. Oh, my screen. This is kind of like on the river here, the Mississippi. They do get this dredger here. We got the fancy show truck corn haulers or fertilizer haulers. Got the river here. They got some steel hauling going on over across the way into the barge. They're unloading the barge here. Doing some fertilizer direct unloading here. This is how you can grow your trucking business, is not driving all the time, then go around and see what's going on and get business. Alright, I gotta go, guys. I'm gonna pull in here and bologna sandwich for a little bit.